Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our summer special edition of diving in on one Chinese character a day. And today we're talking about some bloody image, but so frequently used a Chinese character that it lost its bloodiness. Do you feel like if something is used frequently, like a lot of people using it, and then people lose contact with the original meaning, and that almost like justify the use of it. Anyways, I'm going to explain to you what it is about. 取 is this character that means take. You can see Google translate it, rank take as the top translation of 取. 取 made up of left and right structure that have a ear, have a hand next to the ear. Okay, so ear representation got abstracted somehow into this shape. It's kind of like this, right? But in its original, one of the original versions, you can see it's almost like a visual representation, very close visual representation of the ear shape of the ear, right? And then I guess this kind of a curved sign is not that easy to draw. If we want to popularize a character, we have to make it kind of standardized and not remove the idiosyncrasy as much as possible for it to have the communication capacity, right? People from far away write things differently, can still understand it. So there we go. This is the ear, and this is the contemporary ear, even more abstract. You cannot recognize the ear structure, like the physical ear from it. I can recognize it simply because early on I made this connection of this symbol means ear, and then I just take it as ear. I never thought about it. It's actually got simplified, and even this simplified version actually got further simplified. So there is this historical abstraction process, and that's the evolution of character. Okay, the right hand, 3-finger right hand. And if we have a left hand, it's this. And majority of the time in Chinese character, we are using right hand, 3-finger right hand. I guess does that mean most Chinese people are right-handed? That's in the majority of Chinese character though. Okay, so what does it mean to have the right hand next to somebody's ear, like you're pulling somebody's ear? No, not exactly. This came from a bloody battlefield killing scene. So ancient times, I guess, in ancient society, killing in the battlefield was much more common than our peaceful time in 21st century, right? That's just a fact. And then this killing on the battlefield, how are you going to get rewarded? I mean, yes, you have your valor, right? You have your bravery shown to your co-fighters, but how are you going to quantify that? One way to quantify it is to cut off people who you killed, their ear, and put it in a pocket or somehow as a head count. And probably because of left and right ear, you can distinguish, right? So probably this is one of the ears. I couldn't tell if this is left ear or right ear, but I guess everybody kind of go for a particular side of ear so that you only have one right ear or left ear, right? So that everybody cut either left or right ear. So people can head count by the ear count at the end of the battle if you made it. Gosh, that's very bloody. So that's the origin. That means you actually take somebody's life, and using this ear count as your reward, quantification or justification of your reward of how many ears you collected at the end of the battle. So this ear collection, this ear taking was actually implying the life taking, means killing. And this kill message eventually lost its blood stain on this word. And now in contemporary Chinese, I just look at ear and hand. It doesn't mean anything to me until I look deeper into the history, the origin. Okay, so that's take. And we can see in contemporary Chinese, it can pair with 取 with 采. 采取 means take. And then we have 取 by itself means to get. I mean, English we have take and get. I guess they're slightly different, but in Chinese we don't distinguish. We all, both of them can use 取. And then of course fetch. It took me quite some time to understand, okay, you do make a distinction of you take something and you fetch something. Gosh, and for Chinese, it's only 取. Like, why we bother with such a distinction? But English make such a distinction. And then 取 can also mean choose. I guess you can choose who to kill. Sorry for the bad joke, but it's taking something, right? So when you take, when you have multiple choices, that means choose, right? So we do eventually use take as a sort of truth. And how can you tell? You can tell by the context. And then 取 can mean adopt as well. So even if here they're only like 1 取 without pairing with anybody, but according to the context, you can see it means 取 can, I guess 采取 actually can be used as adopt as well, because that means you are going to use something that you don't normally use, but it's contextual use. Like you use it because the condition are met, therefore you adopt it. You adopt your method or your approach to something. And then 取 means seek as well. I guess seek, take, get, fetch, kind of similar concept, English verbs, but in Chinese, we can all just 取. That's it. And even aim, okay. I guess aim can also be explained by the context. When you use take, means you're taking an aim at something, and then it becomes aim. So English got all these variations of translations. Or Chinese, we don't distinguish. We only distinguish it by the context, where it occurs, where it pairs with, like which other characters it pairs with, and where it shows up in the context, in the whole storytelling, where the position of that 取 occurs. Then we can tell if it's any of the meanings. So for Chinese, when we translate in English, we have to know the distinctions of all these variations of English. And then we map it to that particular translation to the same character 取. Okay, so 取, take, originally means ear cutting. So here I'm just showing an ear piercing. Piercing, I mean, it's much, much more peaceful. And it's a girl, like nobody wants to cut her delicate ear off. But that just to give you a visual sense of what 取 was originally about. Okay, catching into the currency of thinking by 1 word a day with Sophie. See you another day.